I worked since 15, paid 60K in student loans alone, brother. Got his college covered, a car. My name is Alex. I'm a software engineer living in Boston. I'm 29 now, but for most of my life I felt like I was 50 years old from all the stress. This story is about the moment I finally broke free. I remember the last phone call like it was etched in stone. My mother's voice was sweet but filled with expectation. "It's just a signature, honey. Your nephew needs this loan. You've always been the responsible one." My brother was silent on the line as always. The silence of someone who was used to watching me struggle while he prospered. That was the exact moment I realized I wouldn't give them another drop of myself. I started working at 16, greasy uniforms, late shifts, missing out on weekends, because bills don't care about being young. Every single dollar I earned went to staying afloat. By 19, I was paying rent. By 23, I was buried in student debt. $6,000 shackled to my name alone. I clawed through every cent to pay off. Meanwhile, my brother cruised through life. His college was fully paid for. He had a brand new car parked in the driveway before his 21st birthday. When he stumbled, my parents cushioned his fall. When I stumbled, they told me to toughen up. I accepted this for years because that's what family does, right? But it was never equal. The first time I noticed the disparity wasn't about a car or tuition. It was the tone. My parents spoke of him with great pride and of me with a sense of duty. He was their son. I was their investment, a safe bet, a guaranteed return. I didn't complain. Complaining doesn't change anything. It only makes you seem bitter. So I worked even harder, paid off my debt, piece by piece, and built a life that didn't rely on anyone else. And still, when his son turned 19, they came to my door. "Cosign 4,000, they said, as if my signature was something they owned to use as they pleased. As if the last decade of my life breaking myself against debt had just been a warm-up for his convenience. That was their error. They assumed being responsible made me weak. They forgot that it also makes you shrewd. I didn't argue. Arguments are a gift. They give people a chance to persuade you. I wasn't offering that. Instead, I made myself unavailable. First, in small ways like declining calls and letting texts go unread. Then in larger ways, missing family dinners, skipping birthdays. They said I was busy and they believed it because it was what they wanted to believe. All the while I was quietly cleaning house. I closed accounts that were linked to my parents' address and updated my documents. I locked down my credit reports and removed every connection that could be manipulated. I didn't explain. Explanations are a weakness too. They provide footholds for manipulation. The day came when my mother pushed harder. She called from the kitchen on speakerphone with my father within earshot. "It's only fair. You're doing so well. He needs this opportunity. You'll co-sign, won't you?" I let the silence stretch long enough for it to become uncomfortable. Long enough for them to recall every favor I had shouldered. Then I said one thing. No. A small word, but it detonated. My father's voice became loud. My mother pleaded. My brother finally broke his silence with a guilt-ridden, "Come on, man, we're family." I didn't shout. I didn't justify my decision. I simply repeated no, and then I hung up. They thought I was bluffing. They thought I would cave. For weeks they tried different tactics. Messages were full of nostalgia. They sent photos of my nephew and his bright future, but I had already disappeared in every way that mattered. I blocked their numbers, cut all ties, and moved to another city for a new job opportunity. A new address, a new phone number. Every bridge reduced to ash, and I waited. The beauty of silence is that its impact grows louder over time. The fallout came without me having to do anything. Without my signature, the loan fell through. My brother was in a panic. His son enrolled in community college instead of the private university they'd been flaunting. The car they had been looking at never left the dealership. My parents for once had to explain why their golden boy's path wasn't paved in gold. And me, I sat in my new apartment in Chicago, miles away, sipping coffee in the quiet. There was no gloating, no celebration, just the satisfaction of balance finally restored. They'd depended on me for decades, and they never thought I would cut the ropes. Months later, an email managed to get through. It was my brother's last attempt. It wasn't full of anger or begging. It was just a single line. "You really left us hanging." I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed back, "I know," and hit send. People expect revenge to be fire and explosion, a dramatic show. They think it's about big actions, public betrayals, and backstabbing. But real revenge, the kind that lasts, is colder and quieter. It is the absence of yourself in the places they took for granted. I didn't need to scream. I didn't need to prove them wrong. I just needed to vanish. And in that silence, they finally heard me. I was the dependable one, the responsible one. The one they leaned on until I was about to break. But I learned something they never did. Responsibility isn't a duty, it's a choice. And I chose myself for the first time for the last time.